Hey everybody, Calvin here. It's 10:15 Sunday evening here in northern Illinois. It's March 29th. So every week I usually do a deep dive into a topic, and I know these videos aren't well watched. That is perfectly fine, only like a few views, if that. However, maybe over time something will come of it, but for the meantime, I'm just making these videos mainly for the record and for my own collection, um, because I enjoy talking about this. I enjoy talking about the market, precious metals. I try not to be dramatic about it. There's a lot of dramatic videos out there. They have the drama on the photos. You think the sky is falling, and then it's just not the case. I'm talking, I'm a little bit tired, but I still wanted to make this video since I just got done with my radio segment and was all set up with my microphone about silver. I'm going to talk about gold, talk about the debt, going to talk about silver mines, going to talk about some of the tariffs, and just look over some of the sites and see where it's going and where it previously was. So I'm just going to go ahead and get right to it. So as of right now, silver looks to be kind of settling around the $70 marker about 2 weeks ago, and pretty much every week for the last, I'd say, several weeks, I've been kind of saying that silver was going to tank, which it did, and then it was probably going to settle in between the 80 and $70 range for a while. It seems to be sort of breaking below 70, which is fine, but it's still right around there, which I'm starting to think might be where it is going to settle. I do think there's going to be a little bit more of a dip. I think it'll probably get into the low 60s. See, like this is what's been going on the last 5 days. There was a huge dip down into the 60s, mid, even low 60s. It rebounded very heavily, and then it kind of continued. However, it's been kind of stabilizing, which is good. These moves are still very high. Even in the 1 month, I mean, a 1 month move of over 21% in silver is very, very high. Oh, see, there you go. Now it's up to 70. It's the last 6 months at 20, a 50% move is very, I mean, this is just this chart is erratic. What I do foresee happening though is that eventually it's going to bounce somewhere. I do think it'll drop below 70 a little bit. Oh, there you go. And it'll probably stabilize within the 60 to $70 range. But I do think it's going to bounce anywhere from 60 to 80, maybe for the foreseeable future. However, actually before that, let's go to gold. So gold today, this is at this time right here, March 29th. 10:56 Eastern Daylight Time. So this was probably, yeah, there you go. Now updated. Um, it's not exactly on the current time. But over the past month, it's almost down $800, and over the 6 months, only up 650, which is way too different because it was about $5,300 an ounce for a while. So the same thing is following with silver, which I actually really enjoy. I think that this is good. We're going to say today, obviously, the market's not open here in the United States, but the Japanese market is open. Right now, the Nikkei 225 is down almost 2,400 points, which is 5% almost. That's a big move. The last 5 days, as you can see here, I mean, it's down 7,000. So something's probably happening, which means that we're probably going to have a down day in the Dow tomorrow, more than likely. Usually, what translates from from Asia goes into Europe, and then from Europe goes into the United States. The Middle East news is not looking great. They're talking about peace and all this stuff, or some peace plan. I don't think that is going to happen. There's troops being moved to the Middle East all the time. And so oil is now up above $100 right now. Yeah, there you go. It's 101. So it shot up again. As you could tell, you're paying at the pump. We're paying at the pump here in Illinois. They thought it was a fantastic idea to double the gas tax and then add on more into that. And so we're now up to, like, even in the suburbs, up to like 460 a gallon. It's just getting ridiculous. And so as you can see here, it was just stable for so long, and then boom. So as a lot of money gets transferred into silver, or silver from silver and gold into oil, people speculating and whatnot. I mean, money's going to move around. A lot of stuff is speculation, but for people who are just buying like you or I, go to JM Bullion. They're just like, just want to go on the website, just say, hey, I want to pick up a couple silver coins. You just click on it. I mean, you're looking at some of the cheaper ones at almost $80 a coin still, and I mean, it's good, but I'm still holding off. I really am. I want to see sort of a consistent and steady chart, at least for the next month or two, because this right here, this is not okay. This area basically from December 2025 up until now. This is not an okay chart considering this is how it was for so long. I know I've talked about this before. I don't know if you haven't watched the videos, the first one you're watching looks fine. However, this is a nice steady chart. Yeah, there were some dips. Yeah, but this is extreme. Gold followed the same path to an extent. It actually started the ascent a lot earlier than silver did, but that probably has to do with this and the U.S. debt clock. Sometimes they have these like books you can buy or not buy, download PDFs, but you just got to go here. This is USDebtClock.org. It tracks the national debt. As you can see, 39 trillion in the hole. We are 124 debt to GDP, 120, almost 125%. Hasn't been that high since like World War II or something. I think it was a little bit higher, like 130 something, 131%. So, I mean, at least it's falling, but this number needs to fall. We need to start paying off actual debt and getting this paid down. However, if that were to happen, gold prices and silver prices would tank. The reason why money, one of the many reasons why money is going into gold and silver, is because of how much debt there is, a falling dollar, the decrease in the value of the dollar, and that's what people pile into precious metals. They're trying to retain their value, retain their money, and then have it still count in the future. Okay, so if you guys go to a couple sites, let's go to American Eagles here, silver coins. This is APMEX. I have not bought from this site. I have bought many times from JM Bullion. But as you can see here, the American Silver Eagles are more expensive just across the board. You're looking at a random year for about $86. 2026 could be 87. So if you go here, chances are it'll be somewhere in the same neighborhood. Yeah, where's the Silver Eagle? Yeah, 86, 87 bucks. Just the American Silver Eagles do have a higher premium. So if you're looking at $70 for 1 ounce of silver, oh wow, it's gone a little over 70 bucks, just about 40 cents. You're looking at about $16, $17 premium. That's obviously the manufacturing, distribution, marketing, all blah 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 blah. And then on top of that, you pay by check or wire, add a couple extra bucks. You pay by card, add a few more dollars on top of that. So what am I trying to get to with this? Well, if you look at just all the news, there's so much noise. Sorry, I'm tired, but there's so much noise with what's going on. Everything's a fear article. I mean, these things are true though. We got Israel going into Lebanon. We got the U.S. sending more troops. They're saying that there is going to be peace. There peace talks. I don't believe that's happening. Can't even believe almost anything that's being said anymore. So if that is the case, I still think that silver and gold are going to continue to fall. Now, even if the Federal Reserve, so if you don't know what the Federal Reserve is, Federal Reserve basically has a set of banks around the country, and there are people in charge of the banks and setting the interest rate. So interest rate, Federal Reserve, you can see I think it's around 3.5%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 3.5 to 3.75%. They're maintaining it. They did not raise or lower rates. In fact, what they're talking about is possibly raising the interest rate. A long time they're talking about cuts, but now because of all the prices going up, the oil prices going up, the gas prices going up, grocery prices going up, that there's a chance that it's becoming more and more likely that the interest rate will rise. If the Federal Reserve starts to raise the interest rates, silver and gold will fall. That's because now the rates are a little bit higher. People put their money somewhere else. Now, if it's just a quarter point, if it goes from 3.75 to 4%, it's not going to crash it. However, if it becomes where they raise it again, then they raise it again or again, then that's a problem. Because now, it's going to cause silver and gold and precious metals to decline, which I can't foresee happening. So what am I trying to say? So they're talking about silver demand is exploding. Could it be a double-edged sword? A high floor for silver prices. You just never know. There's a tariff policy. However, there was a huge run-up in January, as you can kind of see here. They thought it had to do with the tariffs. Trump decided, no, we're going to pause the tariffs because, especially on Mexico, where's my chart at? No, I have so many different ones. Here we go. So Mexico actually produces the most silver in the world. It's 2023, but still it holds to today. China comes in, then Peru, Chile, and so on and so on. We're way down here. So if we're imposing tariffs, and Trump did it a lot of them on Mexico, however, he did not. He suspended the ones on silver and other precious metals. So then that next thing you know, and also with the guy that he nominated in January, Kevin Warsh nomination, he nominated this guy. This guy's not been confirmed, but he nominated this guy. It caused both the tariffs being paused or suspended, as well as this particular person being nominated, led to a silver decline in price, which was good. This was too much of a run up. So there's a lot of factors that go into something occurring. So it's really hard to get through the noise. You just have to discount the articles in many ways. Anything that's hype headlines, because you'll see something like this. You'll go silver prices today, and you're going to see silver prices tank or spiral or whatever. Silver prices, let's see, actually, let me go to Google. I have to do an incognito window just because I have other tabs open. Silver prices today. See, so you're going to see all these things. Big news. Silver stackers need to know this. Gold, everything's tumbling. Things are going on. The silver rates rose. They sharply up. So you just never really know why gold prices are crashing. Everything sounds scary, and it's all up or down. And sometimes it's 6 days ago. Some of it's 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So it's like, what do you listen to? Honestly, it gets to a point where you just look at the chart. Look at the chart and look at demands. So what am I getting to? It's just really just blocking out as much noise as possible because you'll go crazy. And just look into yourself, okay, is this a solid chart? Probably not. Is this a solid chart? It's looking okay. Seems like it's bouncing between 60 and 75, but those are huge swings for something that's trading so low, that was trading so low for so long. These are huge swings. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. So this looked good. Nice and stable, especially down here. You know what you were getting for such a long time, and then even this looked okay. And then this, boom. So you look at the charts, does it look good? No. 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 What that means is probably not the best time. Probably not the best time to buy if you're looking and I want to buy some silver. I like to keep stacking. I've been buying it pretty religiously every month for the last 3 years. I have a mid-month same kind of order, about anywhere from $200 to about $350 worth, and then I've just stopped. Ever since January, I've just not bought any, and I buy some other stuff, gold backs, silver pieces, but not coins. and I just don't think you're getting your money's worth. I'll buy some like random stuff, like if you go here, these silver coins. I'll just buy a couple things random. I have a few of them. I have a couple $50, but anything that contains silver, just because it's cheaper, and I just kind of like, that's a little bit different, something that's nice and clean. But I do just like the fact that it's made of silver and it's a little bit different. But just a silver coin, paying $90 for one silver coin is kind of crazy to me. But then again, I'm also paying $57 for a 50-cent coin back in 1964. However, I do think it's worth it to kind of not divest, sort of invest in different areas. Just kind of switch it up a little bit. These silver bars are pretty crazy. When I buy, I mean, I have a silver 10-ounce silver bar I bought for about $280, and now these 10-ounce silver bars are over $800. So right now, I just don't think, unfortunately, silver is, and buying physical silver and buying gold is really the best bet at this particular moment. I've been buying stocks, got like Amazon, Barrick Mining. I have Fubo TV, purely speculative. That's a trash stock, and then a few others. I have about 6 different stocks every 2 weeks. And then I have retirement stuff, but that's managed on its own. So I don't really invest too much, but you have to diversify. I mean, I even buy like Lego sets that I think will hold their value. So all these charts here are not great. This is okay. I like this for gold. The reason why gold's prone to huge moves. This is okay. I mean, literally over the last 5 days, $147 is not bad. That's not great. And either really, I mean, that's okay. The only thing this is really showing now in 6 months for gold is that it was here 38, and now we're here, so it's really only gained about 600 bucks in the last, yeah, some $700 in the last 6 months. That's not bad, but to me, it's still gonna go up. And this chart does look good. This is showing a nice, yeah, there was the erratic move, but it recovered. This is showing a trend line that it's going to go up. Golds, if you can get gold backs, gold pieces, yeah, this was bound to happen with just a huge run up. This doesn't look good either. However, I do think gold, it was so stable for a while. I think gold's going to continue the huge run up. However, in the short term, due to what's going on in the Middle East, I do go to these websites. They have the weirdest stuff. It's ridiculous. Um, Go to these websites, and it'll tell you all sorts of things about silver. I mean, remember, silver is used in data mining. It's used in electric vehicles. It's used in solar panels. I mean, it conducts electricity. So if you say, does silver conduct electricity? Yes, it's the best conductor of electricity among all metals. So there's a lot of things that it's good for, which means demand long term is good. So while I am not personally buying it now, is it a good time to buy? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, these charts are too erratic. I do think that no matter when you buy, it'll go up. However, if you buy now, I don't expect much. I expect it to fall. When it was up here, I did buy a few coins. I think I got them for like 110. So I lost. I mean, that was $40 ago. Long term though, silver will go up. There's no doubt in my mind. But how long term, I don't know, because this went on for years, over 10, 12, 13 years. And so now that could still be another huge run up after a crash, but it might be another 10, 15 years from now. So then I was looking at this article, how a tariffs threat. I'm not going to go over this, but one thing that you always see, tariffs tend to be inflationary because it makes everything more expensive. So just something to consider. when you are buying any type of precious metals right now, jeez, okay, I'm getting out of this. Um, when you're buying precious metals, you gotta do it for the long term. If you're trying to just buy it and sell immediately, I don't really advise that. I'm not a financial advisor, but remember, precious metals, coins, these things take time, but I do think they'll go up. But it's not something you basically say, yeah, I want it to go up 30% in 6 months and then be able to sell. In fact, chances are, if you try to sell, especially to like dealers, they're probably not even going to give you that run up, because to them that looks like there was a lot of speculation, and there would be a crash, which is sort of exactly what happened here. Where if you try to sell to a dealer and there's $116 an ounce, they're probably not even going to give you anywhere near that, because they're like, hey, this is speculation. Like, it's going to crash. I got to protect myself and my purchases. So let's just see how it levels out. I'm a little bit tired today. I did just want to kind of go over this. I've been making a lot of random videos, even for me playing games uh, online as well, and streaming Helldivers and South Park. But I do enjoy talking about this and seeing where it's going. I do think if the Iran conflict continues to go on and oil prices continue to go up and gas prices and electric prices, they're going to start to raise interest rates. If that does occur, then silver and gold are going to fall because of it. So I do see that occurring, unless something changes in the Middle East, and it doesn't look like it is. It looks like troops are amassing even more, which is not fantastic. And it just looks like it's just going to head in one direction right now. So we just got to hope for the best. Oil prices are going to continue to climb. People are putting money in it. So, like I said, unless something happens, I want this to be just for the record. I do see crude oil going to 120, maybe $130 a barrel. That's with everything staying steady the way it's going. But if somehow a deal is reached or a ceasefire or whatever, then we'll probably would see a fall. But they already talked about that a few days ago, that there was going to be a peace. It fell down into the 80s and 90s, but then it was like, nope, that was not true, and it went right back up. So it's really hard to know what to believe or who to believe, because it feels like everyone's lying to you. So when all else fails, look at the charts, look at the fundamentals, and see, is the demand long term for silver, gold, precious metals? The answer is yes. So hope you enjoyed this. There's a lot that was covered, and these numbers need to change. And so if you ever have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. I know these are long videos, not many people watch them. That is perfectly okay. It's really just for the record. I will make some shorts here, and those are a little bit more watched and are easier to watch. It's very rare that people are sitting down watching this for 24 minutes, but I do hope this provides valuable information if you do, or if you have decided to watch it. All right. Thank you, like I said, for watching this. Have a great night.